Hi guys, it's Heather, the Butterfly Effect, plant-based weight loss, and I'm making a new recipe for you, and I've been excited to show you this one for a while. And what we're going to make today is compliant pizza. So let's show you how to make a pizza crust that doesn't have any flour, doesn't have any gluten or any sugar or any yeast, nothing that you may want to avoid, and that does have a lot of nutrition. So what I love about this pizza crust is it really only has a couple of ingredients, and you can make it right here in your food processor. So the first thing I'm going to put in is going to be sweet potatoes, and that's going to be 3/4 of a cup. We're just making a small pizza crust, like a personal size pizza. So I'm putting my sweet potatoes in my food processor, and it's fitted with the S blade. And I want to kind of distribute them around, okay? And then the next thing, I put it over in the wrong spot. This is 3/4 of a cup of drained chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them. That's the next thing that goes in there, and you just distribute it around, okay? The next thing is going to be 3/4 of a cup of steamed cauliflower. And you want to make sure it's steamed pretty soft. So you can see I can almost mush it in my fingers. You want it steamed pretty soft because you want it to be the same consistency as the beans and the sweet potatoes. So I'm just going to toss that in there. Okay, and then the last thing that goes in there is, this is 2 tablespoons. I know it looks like a lot, but it's 2 tablespoons of flax seeds that I've ground up in a NutriBullet blender. And you can grind it up in a spice blender or something, but it does work better if it's ground. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Okay. Now, because we're subscribing to a health promoting diet, we're not going to use any oil. We're not going to use any flour. We're not going to use anything that wouldn't be good for us. So that's all the ingredients, just 4 ingredients in this pizza crust. And now I'm going to put on the lid. There we go, lock it in place. And excuse the noise for just a minute. I'm going to let that process down for at least a minute or so. And then what I want to do is kind of scrape it down and then let it go again. So don't do it when you're in a big hurry for pizza, because it's not that quick. Okay, so it's about halfway, so I'm going to take off the lid, scrape it down, make sure it's all getting incorporated. Okay, and those flax seeds, in addition to being just a wonderful thing for your diet, they have lignans, they're good for your heart, they're good for your brain, they have omega-3s, but they're also kind of magic because they make things stick together. And this is the flax seeds added to the cauliflower, and the beans and the sweet potatoes are all going to be sticky, and it's going to make it stick together really nicely. Okay, when you have that all stuck together how you like it, you're going to want to shape it into the shape that you want your pizza to be. So hang on one second. This is a Silpat lined cookie sheet, and unfortunately it's very stained because you can tell that I love sweet potatoes, and my sweet potatoes have stained my Silpat. But I swear it's not dirty, it's nice and clean, and I'm going to use this to put my pizza dough on. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to move the camera back a little bit so that you guys can see me putting the pizza dough on the pizza pan. Adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Okay. So here is the pizza dough. And this always happens to me where I can't get it unhooked because I'm kind of a wimp. Okay, and just flop it onto your pizza pan. And scrape it out and make a little puddle. You can see that the flaxseed is doing its job and kind of making everything gel together. Okay? And because of the shape of my pan, I'm going to go ahead and make a square pizza, or like a rectangle pizza. And this is going to be kind of a personal size. I usually get about 4 slices, if you were thinking slices of pizza, out of this size. So go ahead and get all of your good stuff there. This is going to go in the sink to deal with that later. Get this out of the way. Okay. So now I'm just going to shape it into roughly a rectangle. And while I'm shaping it, I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees. And so while I'm getting that all ready, just keep, see now my oven's telling me it's hot. I got my beep. Okay. So you want to just do, it does not have to be beautiful, right? But you want to have it kind of even so that it'll cook well. So you could do a square, you could try to do a circle. You know, the traditional shape is the circle. What I've found is that when I try to do a circle, then I can't get it as even because I can see really well if it's a rectangle, if it's the same thickness throughout. Okay. And I could do this for a long time and like make it very perfect, but I'm going to get it in the oven so I can show you the next part. Okay. So, what this is going to do is this is going to go into my 400-degree oven and it's going to bake for 30 minutes. And then when I'm done baking it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take either a piece of parchment or I have another even like more stained silpat. And what you do is when it's gone, it's 30 minutes, you put another one on top and then you want to flip it, okay? And then very slowly and carefully peel the silpat that was on the bottom away, okay? You can also do this with parchment if you don't have a silpat, and you can get parchment from the dollar store nowadays. So that's something that you can, you know, easily get if you don't have a silpat. I really like these non-stick silicone mats. The brand I have is actually not, the pizza crust already tastes really good, you guys. The brand that I have is not the silpat brand, although I have had that, and I find the knockoff ones are just as good. I'm going to put this aside and we will put it in the oven. Let me just do a quick switcheroo. Okay. And through the magic of video, because you don't want to wait 30 minutes for our pizza crust to be done, I have made one. Here's one, and so you want it to be like kind of soft. You can see that it's pliable. I can wiggle it. You don't want it to be like super crispy unless that's how you like your pizza. And then I thought of a few good toppings for it. So let's get those over here. Okay, the first thing you want to do is make a pizza sauce, and I'm going to use just some tomato sauce, and I'm going to pour that on there, and let me get my spatula back. I'm going to give it a quick rinse. There we go. Okay, rinsed off my spatula. Now I'm going to put my tomato sauce and just kind of evenly distribute it over my pizza. Okay. Not too thick. We don't want it to get soggy, but just as thick as you like it. And in the past, I've done this with tomato paste, and I think tomato paste might even work better. The tomato sauce is kind of, you know, making it kind of sinking into the crust a little bit more, but that's what I had. So, you know, tomato paste or tomato sauce, either one will work well. Okay, And then I'm just going to sprinkle, this is called Roma. It's just some Italian herbs. I'm going to sprinkle that evenly over the surface of the pizza, just to give it some nice flavor. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the Roma on there. This has got in it, it has, what was it? It's, oh, herbs, garlic, and bell pepper blend. And so it had oregano, dehydrated onion, basil, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, dehydrated bell peppers, dehydrated garlic. So just a good Italian seasoning. Now the next thing I like on mine is I have some water sauteed caramelized onions and garlic, and I'm going to just sprinkle those over the surface of my pizza. I love onions and garlic, and they're so good for you. Dr. Greger from nutritionfacts.org says that onions and garlic are the most anti-cancer vegetables. So that is lucky for me because I love them. So just put as much as you want on there. Okay. All right. And then the next thing I'm going to put on is, this is some roasted red bell pepper. You can buy these in a jar, or you can just roast a red bell pepper yourself. However you want to do that, you can put that on your pizza if that sounds good to you. Really, whatever you like. Because I'm trying to go very compliant, so we're not using sugar, we're not using oil, we're not using any, we haven't used any salts yet. So because we were trying to stay compliant, I'm not using like black olives, which is something that I used to like on pizzas. Okay. And then to make it kind of special, I'm going to add these artichoke hearts. I really like artichoke hearts. And that to me makes it be even more special and exciting. And what the heck, I'm going to add a lot because it's my pizza. So I can have it how I like it. Okay. All right. So that's what it looks like that far. And you could just stop at this point if you wanted to. I'm going to do one more thing, and this is a very much if you want to or not. This is some nutritional yeast, and a lot of people think that it tastes like cheese. And so to give my pizza a little bit of a cheesy taste, because normal, pizza would have a cheesy taste, I'm going to sprinkle just a tiny bit of nutritional yeast over all of it, just to kind of give it a cheesy flavor. If you don't use nutritional yeast, some people don't like it for various reasons, or they're allergic to it or whatever, just don't use it. Okay? Now, this will go back in the oven maybe for 5 or so minutes, just long enough to kind of heat up the crust, and then you can eat your delicious pizza. I'm going to use my ulu knife that I've showed you in other videos. I'm going to just cut this into 4 pieces. And you know what? I can't even wait for it to get heated up again. I'm just going to eat it as is. Let me get a piece of my pizza here. This ulu really works well for anything that you have to cut that's kind of like a curve. Okay. Let me put another piece of my artichoke heart on there. You see that beautiful little piece of pizza? Should I give it the taste test? All right, let's see if it's good. So good, you guys. I miss pizza. It's one of the things I loved when I wasn't vegan in my former life. I really loved pizza, and I thought that I had to give it up because we're not doing flour. But I don't have to give it up because I can have compliant pizza. And there's nothing bad in here for me. Everything is nourishing. Everything is healing. It's all good for you. And it's really good for the taste buds. Really good. So I hope you'll try this recipe. It couldn't be easier. I think you'll really like it. and I'll put the recipe down below. Stay tuned because I'm going to be doing some more recipe videos in the next couple days. And so if you like these, let me know in the comments and I will make more, or if you want me to show you how I make any of my other things that I've talked about, then let me know and I'll show you how I do it. Alright, talk to you soon guys. Have some pizza. Have a great day. Bye-bye.